Someone falsely reported me, and that was that. They just completely took his word for it, and I didn't have any weapons, and it was just all a big scam. And then I got to the hospital, and they said, okay, you need to speak to us and tell us what's going on with your mental health. And I said, because they've snaked me before. The last 2 times I've been to the hospital, I've said something and they've completely changed what I've said, and they've also added in stuff that I didn't even say, and they're like, oh yeah, you said this, you did this, and I'm like, I absolutely did not say that. So I said, look, this is what happened the last 2 times I was in hospital. I absolutely cannot speak to you without a lawyer or, what do you call the person? Yeah. No, someone that's like on my side. I can't remember. An advocate. Yeah, I said I absolutely can't speak to you unless I have an advocate or a lawyer present. And they said, oh, you're suspicious. You're suspecting that we're trying to harm you, and you're paranoid and this and that. I said, absolutely not. I'm absolutely not saying that. All I'm saying is the last 2 times I've been here, you've absolutely snaked me and lied about me. And I said, I absolutely can't speak to you unless I've got a lawyer here. And they said, oh, you're paranoid. We're sectioning you for 72 hours. And so I get sectioned for 72 hours. And then they come into my room and they say, oh, you need to speak with us. You need to have your mental health assessment. And I say, I'm absolutely not speaking to you without my lawyer here. And then they try and keep grilling me, question after question after question. And I keep saying, no comment. I need to speak to my lawyer. I need to speak to a lawyer. I'm not speaking to you without a lawyer. And she goes, yeah. And then I've got it all on a voice memo, because apparently you're not allowed to voice record them. But I knew that they were going to snake me. I knew that they were going to lie about me. I knew that they were going to make stuff up. So I voice recorded it all as evidence, and basically she says, oh, do you think we're scheming against you and stuff? And I was like, that's a pretty loaded question. I can't answer anything like that without my lawyer present. And then she goes, oh, you've answered these questions sufficiently that you deserve a 28-day sentence. And look, I have a very high net worth compared to a lot of the people in here. I own 2 massive properties in France. And basically, I'm busy working all the time. I've got a food business with multiple brands, and I absolutely cannot afford to be detained like this for absolutely no reason on false charges. And I'm losing about 1,000 a day from my food business, and then I'm also trying to do renovations on my properties. I'm losing money on all that because I've got people trying to fix up my properties, and they don't know what to do. I'm just wasting money. I'm losing money left and right. I'm losing money from crypto because I've been trying to sell all my crypto. I kept all my crypto in multiple wallets, so I need to, it's a lot of work to sell all the crypto. I need to go into all these different wallets and sell it just because. Okay, I'll admit that I'm paranoid about that, but that's only because I've had wallets drained in the past, so I like to keep it in multiple wallets. I've got one in Bayonne. You can type it in on Google Maps. It's called Chateau Gumke de Bayonne, and Gumke is my last name, and it used to be called Chateau de Bayonne, but I changed the name to Chateau Gumke de Bayonne. I've also claimed the one in Paris, the old abandoned Rothschild one, and that one's called Chateau Gumke de Paris or something. I think Chateau Gumke de Paris. And basically they're worth about 100 million each. And they're treating me like I'm just some random fucking loser with nothing going on. And they've always done this. And I've always been successful. And the only reason I've hit slumps in my business is because I've literally been detained all the time for no reason. Twice, yeah. For literally fraudulent allegations exactly like this. Last time was 2024. Yeah, they're injecting me without even giving me a diagnosis, because I'm refusing to speak to them without a lawyer. And so they've come and forced me to take their medication, which makes me violently sick. I've been throwing up, I've been fainting, I've developed a rash all over my body, and I'm completely allergic to the medicine. All over in between my legs. It's horrible. And They're injecting me with aripiprazole, and they keep doing it over and over, and it doesn't do anything. It just makes me feel like shit. It makes me lose my confidence. It makes me feel horrible. It makes me feel depressed. And they're like, oh, you're depressed. And I'm like, I'm only depressed since you started injecting me with this stuff. Absolutely not. Not until I started taking these injections, and I gained about 50 pounds, about 25 kilograms I've gained. My mum does, and the problem with that is my mum is severely mentally ill. I'm telling you, she's absolutely crazy. And she's got dementia and she can't remember anything. So she'll say something and she'll forget that we're arguing or something, and the next day she's talking to me like everything's fine. Or everything's fine and she'll talk to me the next day like we're arguing. And she'll call the nurses and she'll say, oh, Matthew's saying this, Matthew's mentally ill, Matthew's doing this. And it's literally half the time not even true. And they're taking her word as absolute gospel, and she's completely mentally insane herself, and she's on so much medication herself. And if she just calls and says absolutely anything, they just pretend it's all true. Across from Fountain Park, Murdoch Terrace. Yeah. I'm talking to somebody. It's not. I don't really know. Yeah. Yeah, just say single. Yeah. No, I've never been sick mentally in my life. I've never been sick physically, hardly. When I was a kid, I had glandular fever, and it stunted my growth a little bit, but other than that, I've been healthy and well, and it's all just false accusations after false accusations. And this all started the first time I was sectioned, and it's because I went to Belgium, and I met some very, very scary, horrible people in Belgium, and they tried to make me do horrible stuff. And I came home, and I reported them to the police at Holyrood Palace. And basically, I told them this horrible stuff happened, and then they spun it all around and blamed it all on me. And they said I'm mentally ill and I was trying to break into the palace. And that's only because I arrived straight from my flight from Argentina, and I brought my suitcase and my backpack with me. And they made up the false accusation that I was trying to break in. And I actually wasn't trying to break in. I was just trying to speak to someone straight away as soon as I got back. Never. I've never heard any voices, but they accuse me of hearing voices. They accuse me of seeing things. They accuse me of being delusional. And it's like, these people are sick. These doctors are sick, and I think they're getting told, because basically I reported these people for child trafficking, and basically the first doctor said he's been told from somewhere higher up that he needs to keep me sectioned. He literally told me that. Dr. Banderi literally said he's been told from higher up, from the royal family, they must keep me sectioned longer. And that was on the first admission. Not at all. My life's never been better. I've never made so much money. I've never, my friendships have never been better. My relationship with my mum's never been better. It's just crazy, these accusations. I've got these 2 properties and a food company. That's basically it. Yeah, but I'm trying to sell all my crypto. I think we're going to crash. And the problem is, I lost 15 grand in crypto the other day, and I would have sold all that if I wasn't sectioned under the Mental Health Act. I would have sold it all by now. No, ever since my first admission, they say, you're a flight risk, you're a flight risk, you're a flight risk. And they never let me leave. They never give me all the rights that they give all the other residents. They put me in a room that I can't even close the shutter and I can't lock the door. And they say it's because I'm a flight risk. And they put 3 people outside my room every night for absolutely no reason. And I'm in a place that, even if I wanted to escape, I can't escape. So why is there 3 people outside my room? And they take away my toothbrush, they take away my toothpaste, and they say, oh, you're suicidal, you might try and eat all your toothpaste. And I'm like, I'm worth fucking $200 million. What do you mean I'm going to eat all my toothpaste? I just want to go home. Never! I've never tried to harm myself, I've never tried to escape, I've never done anything wrong while I've been sectioned, and I'm just completely mugged off. And there's other people in here that are literally only sectioned because they've reported child trafficking in the first place as well. "13. Yeah, born and brought up in Edinburgh. And the problem is, people keep phoning the police over and over and over again to the point I can't even live in my property. I've been renting a hotel in Dundee so that nobody knows where I am. Because the police are at my door every single night, and they never come during the day. They always come in the middle of the bloody night at 3 a.m, always under false accusations, or seeing if I'm mentally okay, or seeing if I'm fine. You know, they're like, we just need to speak to you and see if you're mentally okay. And I'm like, I'm fine. And I say that through the door. And they're like, you need to answer the door. We need to see your face to make sure that you're fine. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm fine. I don't want to answer the door. And the reason is because when I do answer the door, they fucking arrest me. And they say, oh, you're not in trouble, you're not in trouble, you're not going to get arrested. And then they arrest me whenever I answer the door. I've been accused of having guns. I've been accused of just simply being mentally unwell. They just come and knock on my door all the time. During the night, they wake me up. It's horrible. And I'm spending $1,000 a month, or 1,200. Oh, how much have I been spending? Over 1,200 a month just to be in Dundee. I don't want to be in Dundee. I stay in a hotel there because it's cheaper than Edinburgh. It'd be crazy if I was paying in Edinburgh the prices. Or I'd be in a hostel. Because I don't like to, even though to be honest, I'm a bit cash strapped. So I've got the properties, but basically the first property I only got because the guy was 85 and he gave it to me because he was looking for someone to renovate it. And the second property I just claimed because it was abandoned. So I'm literally broke, I just have this thing. Yeah, everything was fine, yeah. Yeah, my mum was a nurse, my dad was an accountant and worked in hotels. I didn't go to university, I started to online stuff. I was always into online stuff. Yeah. And that's one of the problems as well. Like I smoke weed 2-3 times a week, and they're like, "Oh, you're mentally ill. You're fucking smoking loads of weed. You're completely schizophrenic because you smoke weed." And it's like, I'm not schizophrenic, and I like to smoke weed, and I don't want to hide that. I do like to smoke weed. It relaxes me, it makes me feel good, and it gives me good ideas when I'm stoned. Yeah. And they're breaking like 3 different laws. I searched in on ChatGPT, they're breaking 3 laws by keeping me detained for no reason. I can't remember what they are, but I'm going to bring it up at the meeting, yeah. I really appreciate it. Thanks for not like trying to pin me in a corner with like scary questions or anything. Because that's what they always do. Okay, what's your name again, sorry? David. And your last name, sorry? David James. Okay, perfect. And you're from Stirling? Okay. Like the goalkeeper? Okay. Okay, thanks so much. Bye. He's gonna snake me as well. I can tell by the ending he's gonna snake me too. We'll see. We'll see if he snakes me as well. Because that was a fucking disgrace if he snakes me, man. We'll see.